Ruyi Jingu Bang is a cosmic iron pillar so unimaginably massive that it was forged to literally measure and pin down the darkest depths of the primordial ocean. If this apocalyptic pillar ever failed to hold its ground, catastrophic floods would violently burst forth, permanently swallowing the entire land and erasing all terrestrial life. Forged from pure black iron drawn from the deepest oceanic trenches, this weapon weighs exactly 17,557 pounds. It defies physical reality. It can instantly shrink to the size of a sewing needle or violently expand to brace the heavens themselves. For centuries, it lay dormant in the suffocating underwater palace of the Dragon King Wukong, acting as an unmovable anchor of cosmic order. That is, until the Monkey King, Sun Wukong, forcefully seized it, claiming the world-ending pillar as his own personal weapon and leaving the oceans at the mercy of chaos. While that iron pillar was designed to hold back the chaotic floods, our next weapon was engineered to unleash them. Poseidon's Trident is a world-shattering spear hammered from indestructible divine metals drawn directly from the suffocating depths of Tartarus. A single strike against the earth threatens to drown the entire world, violently splitting the bedrock and summoning catastrophic, continent-level tsunamis. Forged by 3 monstrous cyclopes freed from the abyss during the blood-soaked 10-year Titanomachy, its exactly 3 prongs grant absolute, terrifying dominion over all seas, rivers, and lakes. When it strikes the sea, mountains of water rise. When it strikes the earth, the ground violently fractures. After obliterating the Titans, this apocalyptic weapon became the permanent, terrifying emblem of Poseidon's authority, eternally trapping the oceans under his volatile, relentless command. While the Trident commanded the oceans, the next weapon was carved directly from the rotting bones of one of its most monstrous beasts. Gae Bolg is an apocalyptic, barbed spear forged from the skeletal remains of a slain primordial sea leviathan, designed to deliver absolute, unnatural ruin. Once this weapon is unleashed, there is no survival, no healing, and no escape. The victim is guaranteed a slow, agonizing, and inescapable death. It is not thrown by hand. It is violently launched from between the warrior's toes in a brutal, upward kick. Upon piercing the victim's flesh, its single tip violently erupts into exactly 30 razor-sharp barbs, shredding through internal organs and locking irreversibly into every joint. The weapon cannot be removed without completely butchering the victim open. The hero, Cuchulainn, used it to slaughter his own foster brother, Ferdiad, cursing the weapon's legacy to be forever drenched in tragic, inescapable fratricide. While the Gae Bolg destroyed the body from within, our next weapon possessed a mind of its own and the power to flatten entire landscapes. Sharur is a sentient, telepathic, shape-shifting mace from ancient Mesopotamia that literally speaks into the mind of its wielder. If unleashed without restraint, this apocalyptic weapon can independently command cosmic storms, effortlessly pulverizing entire mountain ranges into fine dust. It operates as a supernatural spy, flying autonomously across battlefields to gather tactical intelligence before violently transforming into a massive, bloodthirsty winged lion to physically rip enemies apart. The god Ninurta weaponized it to brutally crush the primordial rock demon Asag. The mace struck with such unimaginable force that it literally boiled the surrounding rivers with the demon's blood. Today, it remains eternally vigilant as the ultimate, unyielding enforcer of divine law. While Sharur enforced the law of the gods, the next weapon was forged specifically to butcher them. Harpe is a jagged, adamantine sickle forged by the earth goddess herself for the sole, violent purpose of overthrowing the supreme ruler of the cosmos. If this blade failed to strike true, the Titans would remain permanently imprisoned in the suffocating depths of Tartarus, crushed under the absolute dictatorial power of the sky god Uranus. It was designed with a vicious, sickle-like hook along its edge, mathematically perfected for a devastating upward ambush strike capable of slicing cleanly through indestructible divine flesh. The Titan Cronus leaped from the shadows and used it to brutally castrate his own father with a single, irreversible cut. Uranus fell. His reign was instantly terminated, and the age of the Titans violently began. Harpe became the ultimate symbol of rebellion, proving that even immortal gods can be unmade. While the harp shattered the cosmic order, our next weapon was forged to eternally enforce it. Gungnir is the ultimate spear of cosmic law, shaped in the suffocating, subterranean forge of Svartalfheim and vibrating with undeniable, paralyzing destiny. To stand against this weapon is to stand against the fundamental laws of reality. It dictates the fate of all 9 realms, and its strike means inevitable, irreversible cosmic judgment. Carved with archaic runes that bind absolute power into the divine metal, this spear is supernaturally programmed to never, ever miss its target, no matter the distance, speed, or defense. Odin hurled it screaming over the Vanir gods to officially ignite the first apocalyptic divine war. From that moment, the unerring spear remained permanently fused to the All-Father's hand, a relentless instrument of divine authority until the end of days. While Gungnir was wielded by the absolute ruler of the gods, another blade was forged by him to test the absolute limits of mortal men. Gram is a supernaturally bright, nearly indestructible sword bound to inevitable fate, possessing an edge sharp enough to effortlessly cleave through solid stone. The weapon was a divine trap. Whoever claimed it was instantly marked by the gods, cursed to endure a life of relentless, blood-soaked conflict and unavoidable tragedy. Odin, disguised as a one-eyed wanderer, violently drove the blade completely into the living trunk of the Barnstalker tree. He challenged the world to pull it free. Warrior after warrior shattered their hands trying. Only Sigurd succeeded. He wielded it to slaughter dragons and kings alike, until the very god who gifted the blade intervened. Odin himself shattered Gram with a single strike of his spear, abruptly ending Sigurd's appointed time and proving that even legendary weapons are slaves to fate. While Gram was violently shattered by its creator, another chosen blade was carefully preserved by an otherworldly guardian to crown a true king. Excalibur is a blindingly radiant sword, forged in the mystical, unreachable realm of Avalon, radiating divinely sanctioned power. Without this absolute symbol of authority, the realm of Britain would collapse into lawless, apocalyptic bloodshed and permanent ruin. While its otherworldly blade could cut through steel like wet paper, its true, terrifying power lay in its magical scabbard. The scabbard completely suspended biological reality for the wielder, ensuring they would not spill a single drop of blood regardless of how brutally they were mutilated in combat. After King Arthur fell, the blade could not be claimed by any mortal successor. It was violently hurled back into the dark waters, reclaimed by the Lady of the Lake, and permanently removed from human history. While Excalibur retreated beneath the water, our next blade was driven deep into solid marble to keep its divine power out of enemy hands. Durandal is an unsurpassed, unbreakable holy sword, forged by the legendary smith Wayland, and hand-delivered by an angel of God to Charlemagne. Wielded as the absolute defense of Christendom, the loss of this weapon would signal the catastrophic collapse of the empire to invading forces. The sword's indestructible golden hilt was a literal vessel of terrifying holy wrath. It contained exactly 4 sacred relics: the blood of Saint Basil, hair from Saint Denis, a tooth from Saint Peter, and a piece of the Virgin Mary's clothing. Mortally wounded in 778 at the blood-soaked Battle of Roncevaux Pass, the paladin Roland desperately struck the blade against a solid marble cliff to destroy it and prevent its capture. The marble violently split in two. The sword did not. Its endurance cemented its legacy as the ultimate, invincible emblem of holy war. While Durandal could split mountains, our final weapon possessed the horrifying power to unmake the entire universe. Pashupatastra is the ultimate, apocalyptic Hindu weapon of mass destruction, a cosmic projectile of pure annihilation that can be discharged simply by a thought or a single, lethal glance. If deployed against a lesser mortal enemy, the weapon's unstable cosmic energy would instantly chain react, violently obliterating all of reality and resetting the universe into formless, primordial chaos. When summoned, it unleashes a blinding fire mathematically hotter than 1 billion suns. Simultaneously, it summons millions of screaming, supernatural monsters that physically tear the enemy's army to shreds. It was granted to the supreme hero Arjuna, but the horrific absolute power of the weapon paralyzed Him with existential dread. He was strictly forbidden from ever using it in the Kurukshetra war, ultimately returning the world-ending weapon to the god Shiva, completely terrified of its catastrophic potential. If you survived this armory of cosmic annihilation without getting castrated by a divine sickle or atomized by 1 billion suns, you might as well subscribe. The algorithm is just as relentless as these weapons, and unlike Excalibur's scabbard, I can't protect you from bleeding out in the comments.